Hello, I'm FM and welcome to another Into the Future video on my channel. Now, this video, well basically it was inspired by a conversation I had with a friend of mine who doesn't play Football Manager, but he knows about the game. And we were talking about, the other day we were just talking about the U17's, they won the World Cup the other week. The main part of the conversation was, do you really think these lads are going to go on? Will they stay together? In 10 years time, are they going to be the English national side? And he just mentioned about Football Manager and how it's predicted lots of other young players in the past. And he just wondered what the game thinks. What does the game see in 10 years? We're going to have a look at them now. We'll have a look at them in 5 years time. And we'll have a look at them at 10 years time when they should be in the peak of their powers really. And we'll see if any of them are worth buying, because I bet some of you are wondering, aren't you? Because some of these lads are new to the game. Some of them are only 16. And I'd be interested to see, are they worth investing in? Have we got a team here that's going to win us a real World Cup? We'll find out, so let's get started. So here we are. I've made a short list of the 11 players that played in the World Cup final, that started the game. Anyway, I found it online. If I've made a mistake, you can blame. I think it was BBC Sport I got it from, so I just copied all the names down, made a short list, and we're going to see what happened. Start off with the goalkeeper, and his name is Curtis Anderson. He's 16 years old. At the start of the game anyway, he's worth £6,500. He's only on £110 a week. Wow. And stat-wise, he's not that good. Next up is a centre-half who can also play, well, can fully play at right back and can cover at left back. His name, I've never heard of this kid, so I'm going to struggle here. His name is Mark Gooey. Maybe you know. He's only 16 years old. He's worth £8,500, and he's on £110 a week. And again, I mean, he's got some decent physicals for a 16-year-old. It looks like he's got the basis of some great pace. He could end up a fast player. Next up is Jonathan Panzo, another Chelsea player, another centre-half who can cover as left-back and sort of nearly as a defensive midfielder. He's 16. He's, again, not worth a lot of money. 3,800. Wow, not a lot that, is it? And he's on £110 a week. Physicals were okay, mentals aren't bad, but his technicals are pretty appalling. Wowzers, what a name! Man City player. I can't do this. His name is Joel Latiboudiere. Latiboudiere. I'm going for that. He's 17 years old. He's worth £34,000. He's on £6,000 a week. So he's a year ahead of the other lads. Still young. Centre half can cover at right back and left back. And again, got loads of room he needs to improve. Loads of things he needs to improve on there. Next up is Ryan Sessegnon, a player I know about only because he's been in the game. He was on it last year, and a few times I saw him do really well, go on to become a very good player. So I'd be interested to see if that's going to happen again. He's worth 3.1 million at 17, £8,000 a week. Last year, I'm pretty sure he was a left back but could cover on the wing. Now he can play left back, left mid, left wing, all naturally, which is fantastic. He's really good physicals. Strength's low, but he's a kid. Next up is another Chelsea player, another name I'll probably struggle with. George Murker. That's his name. You can see his name right there. You can say it yourself. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, Chelsea player, 16, worth £150,000, £110 a week. Attacking mid, can play in the centre, can cover as well, a defensive midfield. And again, got loads of room for improvement. Next is a Tottenham player, 17-year-old Tashan Oakley-Booth, worth nearly, well, £425,000, nearly £500,000, £110 a week. Central midfielder mainly, but can cover as an attacking mid and a defensive mid. Got quite a few yellows, decent, quite quick. Could be a good player, be interested to see how well he does. Next player is another attacking midfielder, and a guy who can cover all over really, going forward, looks really good. And it's 17-year-old Morgan Gibbs-White, mainly an attacking mid, can play centre mid, can cover up top, can even cover on the wings, and looks alright really for 17. He's got quite a few yellows, which means he's got a few 10s and above. I think he could become a good player. Next is another Chelsea player, and his name is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Until you hear these names sometimes, you have no idea how to say them. Call him Callum Hudson. He's 16 years old, £150,000, £110 a week. Can cover in the centre and on both wings, very handy, and up top. Pretty quick. Technique's 11, so he's got a good dribbling's 11. He could become a good player, to be fair. Next player on the list is Ryan Brewster. Now I've seen this kid, I've heard something about this lad off someone, and apparently he's got a big future. He's only 17. He's worth 150 grand, £110 a week. Plays for Liverpool. Finishing 13. He's got a green, which means he's got an 18 or above on my attributes. So he's determined, so he'll never give up really. Last on the list is someone I've heard loads about. His name is Phil Foden. Manchester City player, 17 years old, worth 450 grand on 12 grand a week, and already he looks decent for a 17-year-old. Now, I'm from Manchester, I'm a Man United fan, but I do know City fans. I've got City fans I work with and friends, and they're all talking about this kid, saying, "Oh, Dave, when you see him play, he's something special." And he had a cracking cup final. I think off the top of my head, I should have researched this, I didn't. I'm sure he set up 2 goals. He might have even got man at match. He had a top final anyway. Great player, got a massive future. So this kid is someone I am really looking to becoming something great, I'll be honest with you, and I'm surprised they haven't made him a wonder kid. I'm going to jump 5 years into the future when the guys are all, 21, 22 years old. Hopefully some of them are really starting to play first team football. They should be by then. Maybe some of them have even got a cap, a full England cap. That'd be quite cool. So let's jump in the DeLorean. I'll see you in 5 years. 1st of July 2022. All these lads are ranging between 21 and 22 years old, and straight away looking at that list I can see a few positions have actually changed. Values have definitely increased, especially for some of the lads. First up, we're going to look at Curtis Anderson, the goalkeeper. He's now played for Fulham. Well, he's in the Fulham under-23 squad. He's not got any England caps. I'm not surprised really, because he's not very good. He's not come on too much. Yeah, pretty bang average really. Worth 120 grand. Not even on £1,000 a week. Let's have a look at his history. So City let him go on a free. He joined Fulham, and they've loaned him out to Macclesfield. He had a season in the National League, played 42 games, letting 54, wasn't very good. Next year he went to Blackpool and played some league football, but again didn't have a great season. And he's come back to Fulham. Probably, I can imagine he's going to get loaned out again. Next up is Mark Guéhi. I'll find out one day. I don't really care right now. And yeah, if you notice, he's not actually English anymore. He's now Ivorian. So he plays for the Ivory Coast. He's got 6 caps as well, so that's pretty cool. Not worth a lot though. He's only worth 165k. He's only on 2.8k a week. I won't mind being on that, but it's not a lot in footballers' terms. He's improved a touch. He must have improved a bit to play for the Ivory Coast, because they're quite a good footballing nation. Let's have a look at his history. He stayed at Chelsea for a little bit, never got a game for them, left on a free and joined Swindon, where he still is. Next on the list is Jonathan Panzo, 21-year-old, not got any caps for England, still at Chelsea, but he's in the under-23 still. And he's come on though. He's definitely improved as a player. I can't see him ever getting a game for Chelsea though, I'll be honest. Maybe he needs to look at getting a move. He's worth 300 grand on 2.7k a week. Let's have a look at his history. So he's been on loan to Bristol, only got a couple of games there in the Championship. Played for Preston on loan, Blackburn on loan, Wigan on loan. So he just gets loaned out every year. Next on the list is Joel Latbaudiere. Sounds well French, doesn't it? He's 22. He's at Mansfield, so he's trying to get a career for himself. Still a centre half. Improved a touch. I won't say he's improved that much, because look at his value. He's only worth 39k. And his contract's only got a year left on it. That might have something to do with that. He's on 1.3k a week. Let's have a look at his history. I can see already he got relegated with Mansfield. So he went on loan to Forest Green in League 2. Played 15 games. He went on loan to Port Vale in League 2. Went on loan to AFC Wimbledon in League 2. And then he left Manchester City and he's joined Mansfield. So he's League 1 and then he's got now back in League 2. Next up is a player that I expected to do okay, and it looks like he's not done too bad, even though his stats aren't screaming out amazing. Ryan Sessegnon. He's 22 and he's at Arsenal, but he's in Arsenal's under-23s. His physicals are good, his stamina's great, his technicals could have improved a bit, and he might have a year or 2 left to improve, so I don't think he's ever going to become a world beater, but he is worth 9.5 million and he is on 25.5k a week, classed as a backup player. Let's have a look at his history. So he went to Leeds on loan the season there, Had a season at Huddersfield, who look like they've gone back down to the Championship, unfortunately. I like the Hood. Well, he didn't, sorry, he moved to Arsenal, then he went on loan to Leeds, then they've loaned him out to Huddersfield. Back at Arsenal, still not played for them. Was loaned out to Newcastle, so he played Premier League football last year. He got 9 games for Newcastle, which is pretty good. Next on the list is Tashan Oakley-Booth. Again, another player who hasn't got a cap for England. He's 22, worth 425k on 3.1k a week. Definitely improved as a player. Definitely, I think. I won't say he's a world beater. Not that great, but he's definitely improved. He's been promoted with, is that Northampton? Yep. So he's at Spurs. He went to Wimbledon for a season, played 17 games, League 1. Then he went to League 2, Southend, had a bang average season again, 15 games. Just played for Northampton, but I think got promoted with them. Played 11 games, and he's back at Spurs. Again, he's another player that is just getting loaned out. Next on the list is Georgie Mack, and he hasn't got a club. I think he must have just been released, we'll have a look in a minute. He's improved a touch, but not much. We don't know how much he's really worth right now because he's a free agent. Let's have a look at his history. So he's obviously a Chelsea youth player. Went to Hartlepool in League 2 on loan. Had quite a big season there, 31 games. Next season he went to Notts County in League 2. Didn't play as many for them. Went to Belgium, played in the Jupiter Pro League. Only got 8 games. Wow, didn't do very well there, did he? 5.94. Next on the list is Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think his name is. 21. He's worth 725k. He's on just over 8 grand a week. He's definitely improved again a touch. I think he can even play more positions than he used to be able to. But again, he's at another big club sitting in under 23s at 21 years old. Probably been loaned out. Let's have a look. So went to Stevenage in League 2 on loan. Had a big season there. Didn't do too much. Came back to Chelsea. Another player who went to Belgium, but in the Proximus League. Didn't get a game. He's been at Swindon on loan, played 15 games, not a bad average rating though, that'll do you. Been at Derby in the Championship last year, played 20 games, so he's definitely improving. Next up is a player I was really looking forward to seeing develop and become a good player. Phil Foden, he's 22, and he's playing for Brentford. Fair play, at least he's playing. He's obviously, yeah, got released off City. We'll have a look in a minute and find out what happened. He's definitely improved. He's probably improved the most, I reckon, but he's probably the best player to start with. He's a decent player, isn't he? You know, passing 15, techniques 15, first touch 15. Could probably improve a little bit more. Let's have a look. So wow. He went to Chesterfield on loan, Bury on loan, so that's League 2 and League 1. Went to States on loan, played 11 games for New York. That's pretty cool, going to live in New York. That's pretty sweet, that. He's already been there as well. He went there then, sorry as well, missed that. Went to Derby on loan, came back. Sent him out to America, so he's been to America 3 times, been all over there. He probably just had enough, hasn't he? Contract went out, he was never going to play for City. Brentford signed him for £1.5 million. Bit of a bargain really, because he only played 15 games for him. And he's now worth £5 million. Next on the list is Morgan Gibbs-White, 22. He's worth 325 grand, he's on 3.1k a week. Definitely improved a bit. Looks like he's been relegated with Wolves a couple of times on the right hand side there. You can see that schnizzle. So look at his history. So yeah, he's a Wolves man. He's been at Walsall on loan. Walsall's quite close to there, isn't it? And he's just been a Wolves man, but he's not really playing for Wolves, mate. Last on the list is another player I was looking forward to seeing, along with Phil Foden. And it looks like he's turned into a decent player here. He's probably the best one, and he's a Scouser. Brewster, he's 22, he's now worth 11.5 million. He's only on 2.1k a week, but he's a decent player, isn't he? Great physicals, pretty quick, still determined. His composure's gone up, the ball's definitely gone up. His finishing's improved. I think he's got room for improvement again. He could become a really decent striker. Again, unfortunately, he's got no England caps, so that's the last player on the list. After 5 years, none of them played for England. One of them isn't even English anymore, and he's the only one with any full international caps. So, are they going to improve much more than this? I've got a feeling some of them might. I've got a feeling some of them definitely won't. Welcome to 2028. It's a year I'm not looking forward to because I'll be 50 in 2028. So we'll start with Curtis Anderson. He's 27 years old and now plays for Rotherham. worth 750k, he's on 6 and a bit grand a week. Not played for England, improved, has he? I'm not too sure. Let's have a look what he got up to. So obviously he was at Fulham, was part of an exchange deal at Derby, who then sold him a year later, 115k to Rotherham, and he's had 3 years in Championship, 2 seasons at Championship. So he's had some games under his belt, then won games in his early career when he was loaned out. Next up is Mark G. He's now 28. He's still playing for the Ivory Coast. He's now got 23 caps, no goals. That's not too bad. Worth 2.4 million, just over 10k a week. Yeah, he looks decent. He's not great, is he? Let's have a look at his history. He's at Swindon. He ended up going to Leeds for just short of $500,000. Played for them for 2 seasons, didn't get many games on. Then he's gone to Villa, who are still in the Championship. Austin Villa, a Premier League club. Next on the list is Joel, and he's now playing for Oldham Athletic, a team I quite like. I watched a few games with my dad when I was a kid. He used to be in the Premier League as well when I was little. Founding father, actually, of the Premier League, Oldham Athletic. Anyway, he's not played for England either. He's now worth 100 grand on 2.9k a week. I won't say he's improved too much. Man City graduate. So he's probably a local lad, isn't he? Living locally still. Let's have a look at his history. So he was at Mansfield once. Went to Gillingham on a free. Had a 43 game season. Oldham saw enough in him to buy him for £82,000. He's had 2 seasons now in League One. So next up is Jonathan Panzo, and he's playing for Brentford, and he's worth 8.5 million on £41,000 a week. That's like a lot of money for a club like Brentford, isn't it? I'm guessing. You look down there, it's saying down here promoted to the playoffs. So it must be in the Premier League. So if he's a Premier League player, I'll be happy with that. He's not played for England though. But his stats are decent. He doesn't look too bad a player. And yeah, he's in the Premier League, his first Premier League season. Hopefully he'll get a game. He was obviously with Chelsea at the start, but he never played for them. He's had a career all over at show, hasn't he? Next up is one of the big time players, and it's Ryan Sessegnon. Now playing for Middlesbrough. Still looks decent, doesn't he? Looks pretty good. But he's a good left winger. I like he's got a bit of speed about him, got a bit about him. Definitely a lower level Premier League, top level Championship kind of player. Not played for England. Rubbish. So obviously he was at Arsenal, wasn't he? Let's have a look. Newcastle on loan, Southampton on loan. Was bought by Brighton in the Championship for 16.5 million. Wowzers. Played for them, got him in Premier League with them, had 2 decent years in the Premier League. Was then signed by Middlesbrough, who are in the Premier League. Next up is Georgia Mack, the lad who was a free agent 5 years ago. He's now playing for Scunthorpe, worth $250,000 on 2 grand a week. Not played for England. Improvement wise, maybe a touch. Looks like he was at Oldham for a bit there. Let's have a look. So that's when he got released, wasn't it, from Chelsea, and he signed for Oldham. So he must have signed for Oldham maybe that summer on a free. Had quite a long, 4 years at Oldham, was it? The season there he don't play too much. Don't know if is that because of an injury. Don't know. He's gone to Scunthorpe on a free, maybe when his contract's run out, and they like him. I mean, he's League 2 player, isn't he? Next on the list is Tashan Oakley, who's at Rotherham. Quite a lot of yellow there. I say average wise, he's a decent player. Definitely Championship League 1 player, easy. 28, obviously no caps for England. £2.5 million, not bad. 10 grand a week, not bad. Let's have a look at his history. So it looks like, I think they said he was relegated with Preston. He's ended up signing. He's obviously a Championship player, isn't he, really? Because he's got relegated with Preston and left to join Rotherham, where he's been for the last 2 years in the Championship. So next up on the list is Callum Hudson, and he's at a club I like a lot, Huddersfield Town. He's a very handy player. Look at them positions now. He's improved that as the years have gone on. He's developed a bit as well. He's not that great, but he has developed himself. Let's have a look at what he's got up to. Again, look, no England caps. Poop. So, where was he? Was it Derby, I think? He's either at Swindon or Derby, wasn't he? No, Chelsea still. He got loaned out to these, loaned out to Bolton, loaned back out to Derby, loaned out to QPR. My God. Finally left. Went to Sheffield Wednesday for 1 season. West Brom bought him in the Premier League. played one game for them for 3.2 million for one game. Bargain. And Huddersfield have signed him for 2.7 in the Premier League. Next on the list is Phil Foden, the guy I really wanted to see do well. And he looks alright. I think he's improved again as a player. He's now 28 years old and probably at the peak of his powers. He's worth just over 15 million, 45 grand a week. Definitely a Premier League player, bottom half Premier League player, I think. Be interested to see though. I think he's probably, is he in the, I'll have to wait and see. He got relegated there from the Premier League with Brentford. No England caps. So obviously he was at Brentford, wasn't he? After this trips all over the world loan business with Manchester City. So you know, he put a lot of time into Brentford. After 4 years, got to the Premier League with them, which is cool. And they got relegated. He signed for Sheffield Wednesday for 1 year. Wow, only played 17 times. Then he signed for Bournemouth, got his move back to the Premier League for 10 million. Next up is Morgan Gibbs-White, who's now at Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon, top club then. Decent player, I like his stats, he's not too bad. I think he's improved a touch. Again, not played for England, not worth too much. Let's have a look at his history. Obviously he was at Wolves, wasn't he? I think he was round here when he'd had that 1 year at Walsall. He ended up being loaned out to Bolton. He's had years of doing nothing, not even getting loaned out. One game in the Premier League and he played appalling. And he signed for Wimbledon this year. So this is his first year where he might actually be at a club, not on loan, at 28 and play some football. Last on the list is Ryan Brewster. He's now at Sheffield Wednesday, so he never really made it at Liverpool. It'd be cool to see what he's been up to because it looks like he's done a lot there. Winner, 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 promoted. So he's done a lot of the clubs he's been at. He's decent. He's finishing 16, off the ball 15, composure 14, speed and pace and acceleration 15. Decent little striker, to be fair. He's already got 2 goals in 2 games in pre-season. And looking over here at his career stats, it looks like he can score goals. So he's worth 23.5 million quid, 85 grand a week. He's probably the most successful player, and he hasn't got an England cap. So that rounds it up really. Not one of them lads from the under-17 World Cup final has gone on to play for England. Let's have a look at his history. Now he was getting loaned out, wasn't he? I think he was still at Liverpool, wasn't he? But he'd been being loaned out quite a lot. A year at Brighton in the Championship. He was loaned to Southampton, didn't do too well that year compared to his previous year. Signed for QPR for 6.5 million. Was there for a couple of seasons, then signed for Sheffield Wednesday for 11.25 million. Was there as well, not done too bad. Looking at it, I'll be honest, it's a shame really. So, you know, Phil Foden, I'd say good player. Brewster, good player. Some of the other lads might do better if they played more time. Some of the lads played a lot of games and didn't ever really improve, which is a shame. It's a shame because SI always pride themselves, don't they, on being quite good with stuff like this. I know it would be hard to predict that we were going to win the Under-17 World Cup, but I was expecting one of these lads to be a wonder kid. Hopefully, I've shown you what these lads can be. Hopefully, maybe if you're thinking of buying one and investing in them, I've made your mind up. Maybe I've even shown you another player who'd be perfect for you in League 2 maybe, or League 1. And you thought, you know what, I'm not going to go with him, he looks alright, he'll do me a job. So if you did enjoy it, and if I have helped you, don't forget to hit the like button for me, it really helps me out. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I should have a new series, or will have a new series starting not long after this video is released. Can't wait to get going. It is with Manchester Central. If you're wondering who the hell Manchester Central are, check down in the description. There's a 5-minute history video where I talk about why I'm doing it, and I tell you about the history of the club. Make sure you check that out. Honestly, check it out. Drop that a like as well. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a nice day, and I will see you next time.